There's really not much that can be done about a legislator standing up in front of a committee or even on the floor of the House or the Senate and spouting off statistics that turns out aren't really statistics, or asserts things as fact when in reality those things are not fact, and they're based on somebody writing something who never really conducted a study, or something that just simply is not correct if somebody were to examine the matter in a proper, research method study. But somebody, has an ideological point of view, so they write things and then it gets repeated and it's on the internet, which seems to be the source for what some people think are facts because they read it somewhere on the internet. And unfortunately, you have a lot of statistics being cited by people and thrown out there by anti-immigration people who allege this or allege that, about whether it be crime or jobs, the economy, things like that. That careful study shows is just not the reality of what's really the case. And in fact, very comprehensive studies show that immigrants working in our country actually contribute more to our economy than they use in government services, because they're paying billions and billions of dollars of Social Security taxes. Those are certainly withheld in the front end by employers, and the same thing with sales tax whenever they buy things, and they tend to try to avoid using government services because of the fact they don't want to be discovered. So, and look what's happened at the Arizona economy since the employer sanctions law has passed. Arizona has suffered a greater job loss than other states. In fact, Phoenix, I think, has got the Phoenix metropolitan area is comparable to Detroit in terms of what's happened to our economy. Much worse than in other states, and part of that is that the Latino community here has been terrorized, and some of them have left. And when they leave, they're not spending money at restaurants and in stores, and that means that those restaurants and stores, some of them close. It's depressed the housing prices and made the housing market worse because people have left and abandoned some of their homes, and that's rippled throughout the market, and all that multiplier effect that normally happens in the economy is not happening here. And we've all heard the expression, trickle-down economics, and that's certainly a fundamental principle of Reaganomics, but there's also trickle-up economics. And if we take away people at the one end of the economic scale and drive them out of the state, their spending habits won't be supporting the economy for all the way up the ladder as well. So it certainly had a harmful effect throughout our economy. But as far as legislators citing statistics, our legal laws are written in a way to try to encourage public discussion and public debate and public dialogue. And there are protections in the law, whether it be the writings that people do in court, when people go and testify in court or file lawsuits, or make statements in front of the legislature. Those generally are not subject to scrutiny in terms of things like defamation or fraud or things like that, because we understand that in our system of democracy, people are going to have different points of view, and the law tries to encourage everyone to express their opinion, and people have the right, unfortunately, to be mistaken, and they have the right to say what they want to say, and it's really the obligation of the legislators to try to, if you pardon the expression, to try to pierce through the rhetoric and really find out what are the cold hard facts here and make decisions based on facts. And it's a challenge for our Arizona legislature to do that because they operate on such a fast timetable. And they'll hear debate and take testimony for an hour or two, and then boom, they pass a bill right away. That's very different than the process in some other legislative bodies. And things here in Arizona, unfortunately, with the very short legislative sessions and with the very limited resources that are provided to legislators, they lots of times will just hear what they want to hear or hear what seems to be the buzzword that goes around, and aren't able to really get to the bottom of things to base laws and fine-tune legislation based on solid research and true facts.